confusion, frustration, and anger. It's all par for the course for Canucks fans. And hey, par for the course, maybe that should be the team's new motto. On this jam-packed episode of Locked On Canucks, we're definitely going to dive into that confusing JT Miller situation, get into Patrik Allvin's post-deadline comments, and talk about a couple actual trades the Canucks made today. It's Begsy, it's Bhawan, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, Canucks writer and part-time credentialed media member for Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into the show, we want to thank you for tuning in. As we get into a groove here, this is episode 4. As we get into a groove here after a few episodes.
4 in 3 days. 4 in 3 days. You got to mention the details, man. Come on,
Seriously.
I'm all about the details. Details bound, all right?
We just want to say, we want you to make Locked On Canucks your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, where the best way you can help us grow is to listen every day and subscribe. Kyle, how you feeling, man? You got the ukulele, you got the sunglasses.
Dude, it's the trade deadline special, man.
You're looking a lot more chill than I am, man.
It's the Canucks. It's the trade deadline. It always feels special, even when it's a bit of a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? It still feels like it's something. This day means a little bit more. And, you know, year after year after year, we're somewhat disappointed. And this time around, I know. I just know. You can tell by the collection of angry people online that, it's in the majority. It's in the majority now. You know, before, back in the day, the Ben Bros, you know, it's all good. It's all good. You gotta think about it. We got Pedersen and Besser and all Horvat, blah, blah, blah. You just wait. This time around, you're barely seeing those people. They're still there. But you can see that people are not just disappointed this time around. They've actually lost hope. And it's sad.
I think there's an argument to be made, and we definitely got to get into the JT Miller stuff, because if this is true, and we might never know if it's true, but if these rumors about JT Miller are true, it could be the most disappointing and frustrating trade deadline in Canucks history. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. If the Canucks truly, and this, let's get right into it. This is reported by Darren Dreger early this morning. He reported that the Pittsburgh Penguins took a hard run at JT Miller and offered, multiple draft picks to get him. But the Canucks said, thanks, but no thanks. We don't want your draft picks because we need a center. Which, again, if true, if they truly turned down JT Miller, trading JT Miller because they were only getting draft picks in return, it has to be considered one of the most frustrating deadlines in Canucks history. Now, here's where I don't think this actually makes any sense at all. Because, if the Canucks did turn down trading JT Miller for, just because there was only draft picks coming back in return, by that logic, they would never have traded Bo Horvat because they would have wanted a right shot defenseman in return. For all the criticism that this management team is getting, I don't think that they're that thick to the point where they're saying, "Oh no, sorry, we don't want your draft picks because we need a center in this deal." Because by that logic, they wouldn't have traded Bo Horvat because they weren't getting Noah Dobson or said right-handed shot defenseman in return. So again, there's definitely smoke here for sure. Dreger's making some reports with, again, wavering validity. Shayna Goldman also referenced that the player that she was referring to was JT Miller when she was tweeting up a firestorm earlier this week about the Canucks and the Pen. So, Kyle, where's your head at on all this? And, where's your head at, man? I'm just curious, man. I'm still spinning.
I can tell you're still spinning. It's all right because life has put you through it this week. So many things happening in your life, for real. And then on top of that, you're a part-time Canucks reporter now, full-time Canucks podcaster. And then the Canucks put you through a lot of emotion this week with all their moves. It's okay, Trevor. Can you take a breath for me? Please just take a breath. All right. Thank you, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Where am I? I'm okay. I'm feeling light because we've already dealt with it. We already know where this team wants to go. We already know where the direction is for that management group. Real talk. Internally, they are focused on next year. We just saw the move. Real talk. And the move showed all their cards. The move showed all their cards, even though they said it throughout, I guess, since they've been here. It's about draft picks and, getting cap space and using it and blah, blah, blah. Come on. It's BS. What does BS stand for? I can't say it, all right? But it's BS. It's BS. You know, we saw the move. We saw what happened a couple days ago. It's okay. Like whatever happened today and the lack of movement with JT Miller and potentially declining any offers that only involve draft picks, it didn't phase me. It didn't phase me. I'm just being honest, okay? Because we already got hit with the blow. We already got hit with reality, and I got to do a lot of praying. You know, the other day, Trevor, I'm not gonna lie. I told myself that I have to be more grateful in life and be more courteous, so I could possibly get more karma on my side, because I want to put that karma towards the Canucks. Because at this point, we only got prayers, man. I'm at a loss for words, Trevor. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, I even hopped on the live Locked On NHL deadline show, and it's just the running joke around the league now that the Canucks are pretty much one of the most infuriating, frustrating, and disappointing teams in the NHL. And I'll say this for the audio only.
I gotta say something, man. I gotta say something, bro. I saw it today, and I saw it throughout the week. You know how many videos I saw with the headline like WTF? What the Canucks are doing? What are the Canucks doing? Why can it was not just us; it was the whole league. And that statement, that feeling, is deemed true if you look at how many times this team's done this over the last couple of years. Like it's not just a myth, you know? This is just bad. This is just bad, bro. Okay, I'll let you go, man.
No, the point I made on Locked On NHL on the live show was that, and again, for the audio only listeners, the last time the Canucks were relevant, I couldn't grow a beard, and here I am with a solid 8 out of 10 beard here. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while since the Canucks were relevant and not a complete laughingstock. Again, I think there should be some muted hope. You say what you will about the Canucks trading away high draft picks and buying, even though they're a bottom dwelling team. Like there's a lot wrong with what the Canucks are doing right now. But I think there's some hope that their player evaluation, it's a little bit better, or should be a lot better than the Jim Benning era. I think on a day like today, you start thinking of some of the bad moves Benning made, and Gudbranson for McCann in a second rounder, 33rd overall comes to mind. It was a steep price they paid for Hronek, but at the end of the day, you just hope he's a much better player than the people from this past regime, the guys they acquired. And I will give the Canucks credit here for one other thing. Riley Stillman, I think that was a bad pickup. That side of the player development had me worried because he was terrible in Vancouver. But they rectified the mistake by clearing that cap hit and trading him out before the season. And same thing with Curtis Lazar today. We'll touch on him later in the show.
Honestly, that's the thing, Trevor. That's the thing, okay? Can we spend the next 20 minutes just talking about that Curtis Lazar trade? Because we need positivity, all right? We need positivity. I'm sorry,
Hey, Kyle, that's why we end with one good thing. That's why we end with one good thing.
But dude, I feel like we need more of it, man. I know it's, Trevor, I have to look myself in the mirror today, because we've been doing more of this week, and it's just the truth, man. We're spending more time with negativity because we're talking about the Canucks. I'm like, damn, bro, look at the question I asked the viewers yesterday. Are you going to watch the game tonight? Don't lie, that's some evil stuff, bro. I'm being a little evil right now. And you just mentioned that Curtis Lazar trade for fourth round pick. And that's it. We did it, man. Congratulations. We won the deadline. For real. We're net positive. Real talk.
Yeah, I don't know if you got that applause button there, but I'll give a small golf clap for that Curtis Lazar move. Again, he was a player. He's a low risk bet at the time, and he just didn't work out in Vancouver. Couldn't help kill penalties.
We got something for him.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I don't know.
We'll touch on that later. I did have
New Jersey didn't watch any games this year. They wouldn't give if they offered a 7th round pick, Allvin would have done it.
Before we wrap up on JT, there's one other point I wanted to make, and there was a tweet from a prominent NHL reporter, I guess you could call it, or a blogger, who said that if the offer was 2 conditional 7ths for JT Miller, you make that trade in a heartbeat. And that's where I think this whole situation with JT Miller has just gone too far. You said it on our first show earlier this week, leave JT alone. It wasn't, again, for a team like the Canucks and the position they're in, JT Miller's not a player who really fits their window. He doesn't really fit with the age group. It was a flawed signing, and it was frankly a mistake. That being said, he still has value. He's still a good hockey player. for someone prominent to tweet out that they should trade 2 7th-round picks for JT Miller, get out of here, man. Get out of here with that flawed logic. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude, he's still got a lot in him, and he has a lot to offer to the NHL. Real talk, he's one of the better offensive players in the National Hockey League. He can make an impact. And that's the thing, how was I supposed to go into today thinking that there was a possibility of the Canucks getting the lease for JT Miller when they just signed this guy like a handful of months ago when this management group, they doubled down on the dude. They believe in him. They believe in him. And to be honest, my name's Kyle Bhawan, and I believe in him too. Real talk. I do.
There you go. Kyle Bhawan, please.
Let's send him some love, positivity. Try it out. I'm probably one of the worst at it, but let's try it out.
Yeah, if Kyle Bhawan believes, you should all believe. So next up, I do want to get to Allvin's comments. I jotted some notes based on his presser today. But before we get to Allvin's comments, I want to say this. This has been a tough week for me. It's been a busy week. I'm stoked to be here with Locked On Canucks, but this team's been stressing me out. And not only were they stressing me out, but, I just wasn't feeling great about my body, man. About my body, okay? I just came back from vacation a couple of weeks ago. I was on that vacation diet. I came home. I wasn't really working out. Haven't been eating right. But, I feel like I'm getting back on the right track. And you know what helped? Was I tried Built Bar. And if you're like me and you want to eat healthier, but you don't want to compromise that taste, then, man, I got the thing just for you. You got to try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious. You won't think they're good for you.
Whoa.
What makes Built Bar so good? Well, for starters, they are covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. Yeah, I'm a big chocolate guy. Chocolate over candy. You can hit us up in the comments if you prefer candy, but I prefer chocolate. Some of the flavors that they come in are churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. Peanut butter brownie is my personal favorite, man. I'm a big peanut butter and chocolate guy. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better, they are healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein.
Whoa.
You can order your Built bars at built.com.
Dude, that was good. You did a great job there.
Yeah, it was relatable. I really haven't been feeling great. I came home. Again, I continued that vacation diet, even though I wasn't on vacation. And that's
you're
a problem,
watching
man.
way
That's
too
a
much
problem.
hockey. No, it's because you're watching way too much hockey, dude. For real.
I'm a big workout from home guy, and usually when hockey games are on, and it's an excuse for me to work out.
You're also a big hockey guy, Trevor. It's a dark time in that sport for you.
Yeah.
You're just living with it. It's like, yeah, I'll take another 3 hours of this. It's like, dude, relax, yo.
Yeah, I do like to watch other NHL games, and I recommend that, you listen. If you're a Canucks fan, you do the same. There's other hockey other than the Vancouver Canucks. But hey, here we are. There's just too much Canucks. There's too much Canucks stuff going on today. We can't ignore what's going on with this team. So Patrik Allvin spoke around 1 p.m. Pacific time, and he touched on a number of things. But I think there's a few quotes that stand out. But
dude,
I'm going to start with this one. I'm not collecting picks just to collect picks. And he went on to reference how when you have picks, you either draft a player or you trade that pick for another player. It's like, okay, cool. What else are you going to do? What else do you do with the draft pick? Just forfeit it? Just sleep in and miss your pick? I know that's happened elsewhere in NHL history.
Bro,
but
this guy's got to hit us with the next question. Like, whoever's running PR for the Canucks, they got to analyze how these people are talking to the media. Because, again, it's been a long time that the Canucks have been pretty weird, pretty dark. And it was Willie D and Jim Benning who are the worst at talking to the media. Real talk. And I feel bad for Jimmy because Jim Benning, because right at the end of his time with the Canucks, he actually was getting a little bit better, but it took like 8 years. Anyways, Patrik Allvin, I don't really think he's the most articulate / clear with the media. The messaging is always a little mixed because I feel like his mind is scrambling, he's not taking a breath. He's just got to hit him with the next question. Real talk. Real talk. Next question. Yeah, we enjoy taking a chance on players under 25. Next question.
I will say he is getting better with dancing, dancing and skirting around that question. That's kind of been something he's known to do over his year plus in Vancouver. But I will say, of all the reporters asking questions today, Thomas Durant asked some pretty pointed questions, and he asked one about, you guys have the most cap committed for 2023-24 and what's your plan for getting out of it? And he kind of just talked about how he liked the players that they acquired and he's not overly concerned about getting out of it. And yeah, he was doing a little salsa up there, man. I'm telling you, I know he was sitting down, but
or no, Trevor, is he doing the salsa or is he, doubling down? He's like, I got, I made these moves, and I'm not looking at acquiring cap space and letting players go because these are the guys I brought in or extended, etc. He might be meaning that, and if he does mean that, stand by it and don't change the messaging. Don't tell us about draft picks. Don't tell us about cap space. Just talk about wins. Real talk. Next question. Next thing, Trevor.
Yeah, you really think Allvin should drop that next question? I kind of like it. It shows confidence, right? Yeah, you give a short answer, just get to that next question, Yeah. He did also kind of mention how, in terms of building for a future, he likes the idea, and I'm paraphrasing now, but he liked the idea of building around a core of Demko, Hughes, Hronek, Miller, Pedersen, and Kuzmenko. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a core worth building around, or is that perhaps a flawed ideology?
It's not flawed. It's not flawed. There's substance there. Look at the players you named. Individually, they're talented. They're beyond talented.
Is that a Stanley Cup core, though? That's my question. Kuzmenko's a rookie. Demko's had a bad season. Hronek's theoretically had one good season. It's sure, they're good hockey players in a nutshell, but I do wonder about them as a Stanley Cup contending core.
Yeah, well, Trevor, do you think there's been much concern over? Well, I guess there has been, but I feel as if the problem with this team has always been spending money on the other guys and pretty much missing every time. The people around those individual players, the support system that people have brought in here, it just hasn't really worked. I'll say this, now my mind's going all over the place, and maybe you want to cut me off here and tell me to shut up, because I know we got things to do, right? And we got to get out of here, but I'll say this. Allvin did bring in Mikheyev, killed it, did his thing. I would say above expectations for real. And he was playing on a bum knee too. That dude balled out. Yep. Kuzmenko, one of the best offseason signings in the NHL this season. That's hey, Canuck fans. See, dude, come on, man. It's okay, baby. There's something there. I'm trying.
Can you play a little Can you play Rasputin?
I got to think about
the Russians
and the negativity that I was putting out this week. It was valid, but it was a bit too much, and I had trouble looking at myself in the mirror.
It's okay, buddy. I'd always enjoy looking at you, mirror no mirror.
Oh, wow,
no problem, man. No problem.
That's cool.
It's mainly the sweater, though. For the audio only people right now, walking, or maybe we're on in your car. Who knows? Kyle's got a great sweater on. Lots of interesting jagged lines. I kind of wish more NHL GMs dressed like you, and they might be a little bit more likable.
Dude, man. Bullies, man.
Couple more things I wanted to bring up here. Patrik Allvin was asked about weaponizing cap space. He said they talked about it internally, but there wasn't a significant return just for taking on cash. That made me raise an eyebrow because we've seen teams like Montreal, Minnesota, pick up 4th, 5th round picks. Like, sure, it's not a significant return, but it's something just for taking on a bit of cash.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Right, this guy just don't got to say anything or just double down. That's not what we weren't looking that way. Don't say it wasn't out there.
You really think the media you think people would be satisfied if you said that?
Benning used to do the same things. Benning used to do the same things. Dude, this is not Arizona. There's a large amount of people here who are tuned in. They somewhat get the game in the NHL. Real talk, they do. You can't fool us by jumping all over the place. For real, you're gonna throw that out there just to dodge a question and not have us, be tapped in and realize that, dude, you didn't say that a couple months ago. We've been through this before with a GM who's contradicting himself far too often, and it's like, dude, next question. Say next question, or again, just say. Don't lie to us. We want to win, and we want to win now. Just keep it real.
Keep it real, Patrick. There we go. Okay, there's let's touch on one more quote, and then we'll get to the final segment here on this episode, this post trade deadline episode of Locked On Canucks. This was like the very end. It was the last question of the press conference, and again, he was asked about, being worried about having too much cap space and clearing cap space. And Patrik Allvin referenced Tampa Bay. He's like, well, Tampa Bay doesn't have a lot of cap space, and they do okay. And it was like, Patrik, no. Tampa Bay, man. Come on. You're back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Yeah, they have no cap space, but they are competing for the Stanley Cup every single year. This Canucks team is 27th overall in the NHL right now. Come on, you got to say that, man. What are you doing? I do feel like I'm ragging on the guy a bit. I mean, I got lots of notes here based on the presser, and we'll have to touch on that kind of getting into next week too as we continue to reflect on the trade deadline. But yeah, maybe Kyle, give me your initial thoughts on Patrik Allvin comparing the Canucks cap situation to Tampa Bay.
Next question, dude. Next question. Yo. Yeah. Again, this fan base is really emotional and out of line a lot of times. It's been tough. We're Canadian, most of us, and we love the NHL. We want a Stanley Cup, never had one. Again, we're emotional. We're also educated, for real. Stop it. Just like, next question. Or again, just say something clear. Just say, this is what we believe in, and we're going to do it. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, Trevor? You start using that language.
Makes a lot of sense to me, man. Maybe they should hire you for the communication staff. Bring out your ukulele and your fancy sweater and walk in Aquilini's office.
Yeah, they're trying to give us something that we wanna hear, but again, internally, their beliefs are so on the other side, and they're just not great liars. So this communication is just flawed, man. Just tell us, yo. And again, he kind of did tell us. If you read between the lines, he is saying we're doubling down. We're trying to win next year. Even the way he talked about Hronik's contract and how he's cost controlled for 2 years. Like, dude, come on. Can you just say like a season and a quarter? Can you not say 2 years?
Yeah, that bothered me too. That was also in my notes. Yeah. It's like we haven't.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is Vancouver. This is Vancouver. This is Vancouver. Okay, it's not expansion team fan base. We.
Yeah, it's an intelligent hockey market. Don't pussyfoot around.
What? Kyle, that it is. I'm beeping that one out. Don't even try confusing me with that English. We're not even taking the chance with that one. Dude.
Right. Oh, okay. Hey, all right. I trust you, producer. I trust you.
I've never even heard that before. Hey, maybe on my network we'd keep that, but hey, I don't even know. That was something, bro. And
all right. Well, I might be looking for new employment after that questionable phrase, according to Kyle Bhawan. And hey, maybe you're looking for new employment too, Kyle. Maybe in Canucks PR. And I think a couple NHL GMs might be looking for new employment after today. I know it's a tough day for Pennsylvania GMs Chuck Fletcher and Ron Hextall. For anyone who's looking for new employment or they're going to hit the market, they should use Indeed. And if you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match the job description, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must-have requirements. One of the things I love about Indeed is that, if I were to hit the job market, Indeed makes it easy to find work, especially with Indeed Instant Match. With Instant Match, over 90% of employers get quality candidates as soon as they sponsor their job post, according to Indeed data. Candidates you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offers valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/lockedon to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Okay, bro. I'm not gonna front. 9.7 out of 10. It was almost perfect, and I know you were going there. You were fluid there, and I think you noticed that little slip up you had, and it was so brief. It was maybe 0.2 seconds away from being perfect, but I feel as if you're never going to be perfect, and that was incredible. So you should be extremely proud of yourself for doing an ad read like that.
Yeah. Thanks,
So
buddy.
quick.
It was almost perfect. It was almost perfect, unlike the Canucks deadline. But in this last segment here, we do got to talk about the two moves the Canucks made. We touched on one of them already. The Canucks traded Curtis Lazar to the New Jersey Devils for a 2024 fourth-round pick. And as we mentioned off the top, it just didn't work out for Lazar in Vancouver. He wasn't a fit. So just to move off on him, get a fourth-round pick, very similar to identical to the return they got for Tyler Mott last year. So again, I think we could argue, not to be revisionist, that with Mott, maybe they could have gotten a bit more, but for Lazar, fourth round pick is perfectly fine. One thing I found interesting from Allvin's comments is when he was asked about the Lazar trade, he mentioned Niels Amon specifically when asked about the trade. He said, with the direction of Niels Amon's game, we want to have a different look on the fourth line, and then want to talk about, what he likes about Neil Amon.
Cool.
So
I like that, man. I like that. You know what? That's what I'm saying, man. Some of the work that this guy has done in this first year, doing all that pro scouting, I'm not saying it's perfect, but there's hope. If you're listening to this, a little bit of hope, and go outside, live with that, breathe about it, and just go on with your day, because it is what it is.
Beautiful. And maybe you want to whip out that ukulele and do an ode to the second Canucks trade. The Canucks trade depth defenseman Wyatt Kalynuk to the New York Rangers for, drumroll please, future considerations.
Well, perfect. Great. Can we talk about one good thing? One good thing? Can we do that segment now? Is that cool?
I thought this was it, but yeah, go ahead. One good thing.
That was it? That was two trades.
Well, the Curtis Lazar one was the one good thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
I probably should have.
We already talked about that. Okay, one good thing. Let's do it. Okay, let's do it right now. It's Friday, and one good thing about our time here so far in this first week is we've actually gotten a lot of comments. Real talk. We've gotten a lot of comments, and we're doing this for you. And I used to think prior to this that I was doing this for you, Trevor. Only you and your family, right? You and your family, you're a family man. You actually have one of those things called a direct family. You're making one of them. You're in a different level of life, okay? And you have that, and you told me to do this with you, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put bacon on your table, okay? For real, on your family's table. I'm going to put the bacon on your family's table. I'm stepping up, and that's happening. That's happening. Now back to the comments, and we've had great comments about hockey and the NHL, and there's one that was really, really interesting to me, and it was about hockey. And there was another that was chirping me. Let's talk about the one that was chirping me first, okay? One dude told me to shut up and stop begging for subscribers, and it's cool. Like me or hate me, we're all Canuck fans. I love you. It's all good. It's all good. But I'm not begging for subscribers. I guess maybe I am when I'm telling you to hit the subscribe button, but I'm telling you to do it because we have a family to support, okay? And that's the Beggs family, all right? Hit the subscribe button. Locked on Canucks every day. Beggsy and Bhawan. We doing this. And we're putting bacon on Trevor Beggs' family's table, okay? For real. Now, the other comment was one that was super, super dope. They said that, well, they were answering a question that I asked you. I said, who's a team that's retooled and done it in the past 6-7 years, whatever, right? And this dude replied with Boston. Is that true? You're the hockey guy here. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true to an extent, but I do think it probably deserves a deeper dive on another episode of Locked On Canucks.
Okay.
Because they have.
You hate Boston so much.
That I will admit, but there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that goes into it.
You just dodged it because it was Boston. If the commenter said another team.
I've had a long week, man. Now you want me to end my Friday pumping Boston's tires?
All of your fans
man. Unbelievable.
All of our fans are on the same level, okay? All of our listeners, all of our commenters, they're on the same level. Don't be judging like that, Trevor. Real talk. It's 2023. Anyways, Locked On Canucks. Do your thing, Trevor. You know the spiel. That was a fun one, man. Trade deadline special, the first one. And subscribe. Yeah.
We beg you to subscribe. No, we wouldn't do that, but you should subscribe. We want to thank you for making Locked On Canucks your first listen every day. Now make your second listen of the day, game to game, Locked On NHL. Every moment, every performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across Locked On NHL with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Hey,
Whoa.
I even did my first appearance on Game to Game
talking about yourself
last night for the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, not a big deal. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NHL, available on Audacity, YouTube, or wherever you get podcasts. Kyle, I know it's been a long week. The Canucks don't make it easy on us, but I hope you have a great Friday, and you listening, have a great week and have a great life. And we hope to talk to you soon.
Go. Remember, Trevor, you got to end it on that note, man. Honestly, for real, we just got to do it every episode, man. Go Canucks,
that's going to depend. That's going to depend on the vibe, and that vibe's not there right now. But we appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, we appreciate you tuning in to Locked On Canucks.
Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.